Welcome to the Profit with Purpose show. I'm your host, Anna Goldstein, NYU certified coach, entrepreneur, and author. This is an informative and uplifting podcast where I dive deep into lives of entrepreneurs and change makers who are making money through living their life's purpose. The Profit with Purpose podcast is produced every week on Thursdays. Please subscribe to be the first to get updates about new episodes. All links and show notes are found at annagoldstein.com/podcast. Now let's get started. Listen up with an open heart and mind. Hello and welcome back. This is episode number 114 with your host, Anna Goldstein. And today I will be doing another solo episode. I did a solo episode last week and another one this week because I had some interviews get rescheduled. So normally this podcast is a lot of interviews and I don't normally do a lot of solo episodes, but it's great to do them. And I'm thinking about incorporating them more into the show just as an extra. So still doing the weekly interview series. I do have some incredible interviews lined up in December and January. In fact, the next interview coming up is with Supergirl. If you've been watching the recent Shark Tank episodes, you've seen Supergirl. My interview with her is about her ability to turn soup into a multi-million-dollar business with a powerful mission to improve the food industry and our health. It's such an awesome interview, so that will be next up next week, so stay tuned for that. I want to start today's topic with a story. In 1999, I was a senior in high school, and I had a huge opportunity in front of me. I was about to play in the Maryland State Tennis Championship tournament. I had been playing tennis competitively for the past 9 years. I had hit a bunch of forehands, a bunch of backhands, overhead volleys, serves, all the strokes. I had spent years practicing, but there was something that happened when I played tournaments. Sometimes I would do really well and I would win matches. And then there were times where I would lose to players that I could have beaten. I couldn't tell the difference in my performance. Why did I win sometimes and lose other times? But there was something crucial that was missing, which I wasn't aware of up until this tournament. So here I was about to play in this tournament that I was seeded number 2, which means I was expected to come in second place. But I knew I could win this tournament. I knew I could be the Maryland State tennis champion. And my mom found this ad in the newspaper. This was back in the day before the internet was super popular. She found an ad in the paper that was for a sports psychologist. She called her up and I ended up going to her house, which was about 20 minutes away from my house, and meeting with this woman, CJ Lockman. So I would go to her house weekly for several weeks. I sat on her couch and we would talk about mental strategies to improve my performance. We would do things like visualization, where I would picture myself winning the Maryland State tennis tournament, and not just picture it, I would feel it. I would share it with her. We wrote it. And then another word for visualization is mental rehearsal. And I talk about this a lot. If you've heard this on my podcast or heard my story before, you've heard me say this, where I would rehearse this vision over and over again, even at home before I would go to sleep at night. So I really would get into the feeling of it. We also did things like anchoring technique, which is a quick way to shift your focus. And for me, and what we talked about is fixing my strings. So I would look at my racket and I would fix my strings to trigger a positive emotion and get me back into focus. And we also use techniques such as mantras, where I would say positive things about my forehand works perfectly and smoothly. And we would talk about how many times I had hit a forehand, how many times I hit a backhand, so on and so forth. Just really reminding myself that I had the ability to win and becoming the woman that could win this tournament. So I spent a lot of time mentally preparing for this tournament. And then the day arrived where it was time to play in the tournament in Baltimore, Maryland. And this was in May, so the weather was beautiful. It was crisp. The sun was out. We didn't have any rain the whole tournament. And we got there, and I won the first couple of matches pretty easily, as expected. And then I was in the finals. And in the first set, I went down 3-1. And I went back to my strings. I started to focus. I got into tune and I turned it on and I got into the zone. I was hitting forehands, angles, coming to the net. I had a whole strategy there, and I won the next 5 games, and I won the first set 6-3, and I went on to win the second set 6-2, and I easily won this tournament. It was the first tournament I had ever won like a breeze. And the amazing thing was I was calm throughout the entire tournament. I wasn't nervous. I had mentally prepared so much that all I needed to do was show up. It was as if my body already knew what to do. And so it became very clear to me the difference in the experience of playing in this tournament in comparison to so many other tournaments that I had played earlier in my tennis career. And I believe the most underutilized resource is within us, and it's our mental preparation. Whether it be with your job, sure, we've sent a bunch of emails, we've made a bunch of phone calls, we know what to do. It's not that I didn't know how to hit forehands, right? It's just that I didn't take the time to mentally prepare. Pick any area of your life that is maybe not going as smoothly as you want, whether it be your relationships or your health. And what's missing a lot of the time is that we haven't actually set ourselves up with a strategy with how to utilize our internal resources, focusing techniques. You know, the thing is that it sounds so incredibly simple, yet it's so difficult to get focused, especially in today's world with so many distractions. Focus is the most important element of excellence. What's probably getting in your way right now is that you're not focusing properly. If there's an area that you're stuck in, it's that you're not focusing properly. Now, let's flip this for a moment. Think of an area in your life that you're doing really well in and you're happy about. How much attention and focus do you give that area to your life? Now, it might not seem like you give a lot of attention and focus to that area of your life because it comes so easily and naturally to you, because you naturally focus on what you want and care about in this particular area. So if you're excelling in a certain area, you're doing a really good job at focusing, and maybe even you've gotten to the point where you don't even have to think so much because it's become so natural to you. The other day, I was at one of my friend's house, and I was there with my son, and she has 3 kids. And her daughter, who's about 8 or 9 years old, got a splinter in her toe. And she was crying, and she was like, "Mommy, my foot hurts. I'm in so much pain." And she was focused on the pain in her toe. And she was crying, and my son went to go give her a hug. And in a moment, she shifted from crying and being upset to, "Oh," and her face lit up because she saw my son approach her and hug her. Now, it wasn't that the pain in her foot went away, but she shifted her focus and attention, and it changed her state. It was amazing to watch how quickly we can shift our focus, and that's where our power is. So today I want to invite you to really hone in on an area that you're not giving a lot of attention to. Maybe you're thinking about the problems in that area, and start to focus on mentally preparing yourself for success and creating positive images. Picture success as if it's already done. Feel it. Create a positive mantra that you can shift to. For example, every day in every way, I'm getting stronger and stronger. You can change your focus at any given moment. And Tony Robbins has a quote that says, "What's wrong is always available, and so is what's right. And it depends on where you put your focus." What you focus on, you feel. So if you're not feeling so great about something, you can change your focus. And that's where your true power is. You might have heard this expression before: energy flows where focus goes. put all your energy and attention into focusing on what you want to create. You don't need to know how you're going to get there and all the details. All you need to do is keep your attention and focus on how you want to feel and what success looks like to you. And that's the show. If you like this podcast, please write a review and share it with your friends. Questions, email me at info@annagoldstein.com. Thanks so much and talk to you soon.